My name is Gary Butterfield, he, him.
My name is Kay Ross, she, her.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we are talking about Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, which is an open-world action game developed by Pandemic Studios and published by LucasArts for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox in 2005.
Yeah, accidentally coinciding with the AV Club's 2005 week.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was looking at that. I read the AV Club. Will writes for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like very much media that came out in 2005. But I like this media that came out in 2005.
Yeah, kind of a weird dead zone.
Yeah, mid-2000s. I'm not a big fan. Mm-hmm. I was also offline during that time. I was unplugged from a lot of culture. Yeah. Except for this. This is a Gary pick. This is a childhood, by which I mean a 25-year-old adult memory of mine.
Yeah. I'm happy that you brought this. This is one we've talked about doing for a while.
I don't know why I didn't fast track it. Like, it's wild to me that I was like, man, we got to do Project Snowblind before this. Because, like, I'm still upset that we didn't do that. I'm sure that would have been an interesting episode. But, like, this is actually really good. Mm-hmm. This is a great game. Like, I had that feeling, my favorite feeling in the world, which is going back to something I liked a lot and having it hold up.
Oh, it's so rare.
It's super rare. Like, there are friction points. It's not perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was like, had a real good time with it. I think this game is fun. And I think that the values it has are still cool. Yeah. And not rare as they used to be, but still kind of a little precious.
It's this weird outlier in figuring out stuff that it did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As early as it did, rather, I guess.
Yeah. This is the premium episode for this month. So everyone's going to get these generalities. If you'd like to get the full thing, join us on Patreon, just FYI. In this game, you play as one of three mercenaries. You're deployed to an active war zone in North Korea. You're hunting down the regime of this new dictator, Choi Song, after he staged a coup against his father, the peaceful North Korean dictator.
One of those that has existed. Yeah. And this is a third-person action game, third-person shooter, with this really open sandbox structure. Like, you're doing missions for leaders of different factions that are here vying for control, and you are hunting down 52 of the members of the regime, codified as this deck of 52 cards.
Very funny phrase.
Yeah,
the deck of 52.
The deck of 52.
Steve Brule-ass, like cards of poker.
Yeah. But you're doing that, but there are individual missions are approachable in a bunch of different ways. And also, like, you don't have to do everything. If you decide you don't want to do something, you can just make up for that in another way, in a way that we'll talk about.
It's an incredibly free game. And within the open world context of the time, this came out shortly after San Andreas. Mm-hmm. And San Andreas is an important game in my gaming history. I've talked about this before, which was the first game I actively resented playing that I remember actively resenting, like being really annoyed, doing ambulance missions and shit in the guide because I wanted those bonuses and just being like, this sucks. This is a fucking chore list. Mm-hmm. This game is an open world game, but it's weird that it even shares the same genre with that. Yeah. Because it plays really differently. Mm-hmm. It is a much bigger emphasis on player approach and freedom and expressive play than any of the GTAs are. They got compared a lot because in both of them you could just like fuck around if you want. Mm-hmm. If you want to walk around and kill everybody with rocket launchers, you can. Yeah. But GTA, when it's time for business, when it's time for a mission, you are deeply controlled.
Yes.
Between like timers and spawn points and scripted events. It wants you to do a very specific thing.
Yeah.
This game does not.
Yeah. There are missions that you do for the factions that do feel an awful lot like a Grand Theft Auto mission. That is not the majority of them, and those tend to be the weakest of them.
And even then, you can still approach different.
Yes.
In more ways than you can a GTA game.
Yeah.
The Deck of 52 was a thing from Operation Desert Storm.
Yeah.
Or Desert Shield. We had a lot of desert wars.
It was an Iraq War thing. I think the second Iraq War is what I remember. The idea being that, you hand out these decks of playing cards to soldiers so that they can know what Saddam Hussein looks like.
Well, and his cronies, his 51 buddies. It's like Ricky Jay and his 51 assistants, 52 assistants. They were also for civilians who were weird, nationalistic, and Islamophobic at the time. I remember my dad was real into this kind of shit. Even though going back, being a kid and barely remembering stuff my dad said, trying to figure out his politics is real fun because he was into this kind of thing. But I remember at the time it was real common to say peace in the Middle East because it kind of rhymed. And then my dad would always go, peace in America. And I don't know what he was referring to.
Absolutely. Peace in America. He was doing an America first thing.
Yeah. And I was also like, I know your life, Dad. Like what is non-peaceful? You are bringing the non-peace to your life, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing anything to you.
Yeah.
You're abusing drugs.
Yeah.
In this game, you can carry 2 weapons at a time, and the weapons are quite varied.
Yeah.
You get, handguns, Uzis, assault rifles, sniper rifles, suppressed weapons, and then many different kinds of rocket and missile launchers.
Boy, do you want to always have an RPG launcher with you. Yep. Yeah. Because tanks are going to be coming for you after a certain point. It is all that is thrown at you.
And they're very versatile.
Yes.
Like they're also really good for building targets and such.
Yeah. You can also hijack every vehicle in the game. This is like cars to heavy armor like tanks, APCs, helicopters. Some of these have weapons that you can aim while you're driving, a la the tanks. Other ones have like turrets on top that you can hop into and then use as like a stationary gun.
You can man or you can have NPCs.
Yes.
Man them. One of the big things about this and a big selling point was everything is basically destructible. Every building in the game, you can do this with RPGs and grenades if you use enough of them, but you also get to call in things like airstrikes. There's a black market in this game, a website called the Merchant of Menace, little Shakespeare reference there, that lets you spend money on supply drops, vehicles, heavy bombardments, things like that. Sometimes these will come along with missions. Yeah. Like you'll get like 3 free airstrikes for this mission, but they're always available.
Yes.
Which again is part of that loosening of control this game has. You're also going to find different ones of these by completing missions and finding collectibles out in the world.
Yeah. Different collectibles, you reach thresholds of them and they unlock kind of like with secret packages, right? You collect 50 of them and you can run forever or something, right?
Yeah. Except instead of being able to run forever, there's one of them and you get a new verb.
Yes.
It just happens to be where you're at. Like the game never tells you where they're at, but the collectibles in this game are very loose.
Yeah.
Like more optional and less structured in how you get them.
Yes. These all cost money. Anything you order through this, the ones that are not provided for you for free by the factions to go do the missions. But you get so much money in this game about making money by killing people and blowing things up. You just spend it. Just spend.
Well, it's a self-sustaining economy.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's one of the things I like about this game is that like you make money. Money is meaningful because it's not a score. You use it to make money more effectively. And you'll do missions at a loss.
Yeah.
From time to time because it's fun or because it's a little easier or just how you wanted to do it. There is a really boring way to play this game that I would compare to like a perfect stealth route of a Dishonored game or something.
Yeah.
Which would be spending the least amount of money possible. Through it. And I'm sure you can do that. Be fine. Yeah. It's still functional. It is much more fun to say, it's not even like, what is the coolest way to do this? What would be the best way to do this? Well, I have these tools at my disposal. I bet I can call in a stealth strike on this from that mountain. Can I steal a helicopter to get up to that mountain to get line of sight? Yes, you can.
Yep. It does not, it really doesn't stop you. And it's super empowering too, to like to get these in. There are trade-offs, like you've got to, target them. Sometimes it takes time, or it requires you to put yourself in an exposed position in order to get line of sight, or especially anything that is targeted with a smoke grenade.
You have to be right up close.
You have to be right up close, but just like the feeling, throwing that smoke grenade into the middle of a base, and then just booking it.
Yeah, later kills.
Later boners.
Yeah.
And just hoping that you're far enough away when the artillery strike comes in, kind of never stopped being exhilarating. Actually,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I just, again, saying yes is the best thing a video game can do. Fucking say yes. This was a really early exposure for me in the say yes genre of games. The other way you can do it, the lasers are really good. You need line of sight. That goes a very long distance.
Yes.
So that makes you look at the geography differently. You're going to try to find elevated positions. And then satellite view, which requires you to be vulnerable for a long time.
Yeah.
You have to get in range, and it takes a long time to get in there. So you have to make sure you're really safe. There's kind of 3 different concerns for the 3 different kinds of targeting airstrikes.
Yes. Yeah. You can't do this if there are radar jammers that are active. These can be like signal trucks, or these can be kind of little doodads in the world. This does bring a problem to some of the missions where it's a real order of operations thing, where regardless, you roll up, and then you've got to look for the X on the radar to go and take those out so you can do anything. It's a way that they constrain you.
Yeah, the radar also takes out, the radar jammers will take out your map.
Yes.
Which can be a pain for seeing kind of elevation on roads and such. They do go down with an RPG.
Yeah.
So in those ones, you have to scout a little bit before you can blow it open. And one of the things, once you've done that, there's not friction after you've taken them out. Like a lot of the missions with radar jammers, the radar jammer is the mission.
Yes.
Same thing with anti-air. Missiles. There are kind of secluded places where you're going to want to come in through a helicopter, and getting rid of the anti-air is kind of the mission.
Yeah.
Through that.
Yeah. Some of these, especially just supply drops, can be impacted by active combat in the area. Get used to seeing you need to clear the landing zone or whatever, or the drop zone as a little prompt. Also, just I never really learned how to entirely stop my choppers from being shot down, Gary.
Oh yeah, no. This is I have kid memory of this. So I'm putting a blanket no flexing in this entire episode. If I'm saying I didn't have a problem with the thing that you had a problem with, I played this when I was 25. I was a baby. As a baby, I had so much tea.
Yeah.
You cannot understand the amount of tea flowing through my veins.
Yeah, just dripping out of your pores.
Just absolutely. I was sweating it like the Gatorade commercial.
Yeah, T-boys were just licking your pits.
Absolutely. Absolute toad boy. So it's just getting rid of the rocket launcher guys nearby. So this landing zone not clear tended to be if it didn't have enough space.
Yeah.
They don't care if you have people there though. And there's a little risk reward to it. Like you can have, sometimes your chopper will barely make it. Your supply chopper, but you're charged for these. The innocent men who lost their lives to drop a first aid kit for you, you have to pay their widows.
Yep.
And so like when you're here, when you're at a zone and you need supplies, you have to stop and pay attention to your surroundings and get rid of anybody with a rocket launcher who can put it in danger. Through this.
Yeah. My problem was I would think that I had this all cleared, and then some motherfucker would come around a corner.
Yeah, they do tend to hide.
Yeah.
There is a stealth system in this game, which isn't. Basically, it kind of isn't developed or anything.
It's not. It's just there to punish you, actually.
There's even speedrunners. Like I watched a bunch of speedrunning stuff of this game because I was trying to figure out the nuts and bolts of it. And they don't totally have this figured out. Enemies have a vision cone, and they have a hearing radius.
Yeah.
These are not signaled to you and are janky.
Yeah.
And super weird. So like The stealth system in terms of disguise, I think, is a lot stronger. The stealth system when you're on the ground, though, is really hard to use.
Yeah, there's one
and probably should have been excised.
There's one standout mission early on that relies on stealth, and I fucking hate it. It relies on stealth, and there are certain like areas that are off limits to you, even if you are friendly with that faction. Like, hey, this is a base. We don't want strangers on here. Much more successful is the vehicle stealth, where just being in a faction's vehicle will make people think that you are of that faction, letting you get behind enemy lines, but also exposing you to, like, if you try and drive a North Korean Jeep into a South Korean base, they're going to fire at you unless you honk your horn to show them you're cool.
I love the honking. And you do that in a helicopter too.
Yep.
Like you see a North Korean helicopter coming in and it honks the horn. Like, no, he's one of ours.
Our unbreakable code.
Very, very funny. You can also, there's a fifth faction to this, or sixth faction, which are civilians.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to kill civilians. This ended up being for kind of the first half of the game, the real secret weapon for me.
Yeah.
Roll up and everywhere in like a shitty hoopty car.
Yeah.
And just like, that's just a guy.
Yeah.
Driving
just hop in a
base.
fruit truck. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the media. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then getting deep into the mission and getting an advantageous place to start dismantling the base.
Technically a war crime. It's called perfidy.
Yeah. There's many war crimes in this game.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
You do a lot of war crimes and you prevent some. Who's to say what is good or bad? But you do a lot of them as well.
Yeah.
It has a cavalier attitude towards human life, I would say.
Yeah. So one of the other things that this game is known for that we kind of alluded to is its progression structure. Like, you do not have to treat this like a GTA game where you are just kind of going to the different mission givers whenever they have something available to you.
Yeah. There's kind of three parallel advancements or mission types in this. There are the mission givers, the different factions, and this plays into a reputation system, which we'll talk about. The cards, which we'll also talk about, and then kind of challenges that are on the map.
Yeah.
The first two of those, doing missions and doing cards, will get you intel. Yes. And you basically try to get enough intel to get the ace of whatever suit you're working on.
Yeah. Game's kind of broken into 4 chapters, two on the first map and then 2 in the second map. And those are the suits. So like the clubs are all businessmen who are financing the regime, et cetera.
Yeah,
like you're
like a mafia.
taking them out. Yeah.
Like an organized crime. A big problem with this is there's not fast travel. Yeah, it's irritating. You can do a medevac for no money, basically $1,000, which is nothing in Mercenaries cash, to go back to the middle of the map, which is useful, but is not enough.
No.
Fast travel would not have hurt this. And you do run into the GTA problem of you get your mission in the Northwest, but the actual location of the mission is the Southeast. So when you restart the mission, you have to go back.
Yeah.
This is a problem I completely obviated with save states.
Yes.
Getting to the place where the actual mission is and throwing a save state there. But it is a major point of friction if you forget to do that, or if in a couple of cases where that doesn't really help.
Yeah. Every time I reloaded a save for something like that, I thought, oh, this is when I would have stopped playing the game. Like, 2005 Patience, I probably would have gotten through it because I put up with so much of that bullshit. But it's like, I really felt like they were necessary for enjoying this game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I wish it had them, but I don't think I would go that far. Like, I think it would be better with them.
Yeah.
With that. But it doesn't take that long to get across the map through this. And it's rare that you are in danger while traversing. Sometimes the game wants to do something with the mission, during a traversal, but it's fairly rare. So a lot of times it's a minute of driving, which like does add up. It's annoying. I skipped it. I used save states to skip it.
Yeah.
But it did not bother me more. It bothered me less than it does in a GTA. There are fewer missions in this where mission giver in the Northwest, mission location in the Southeast.
You can get rid of pretty much all of this with helicopters. Once you get the ability to summon in the North Korean helicopter that lets you, shoot the Gatling gun from it, that is what you need to have at all times.
You can also steal one very early on and keep it. You get to have persistent weapons. This world doesn't reset when you go in and get a mission or whatever. In fact, somebody will come and park your helicopter Once you get a mission, they'll park in the parking lot across the street for you. There's like a valet service.
Yeah, little mafia valets. Yeah.
Yeah. That is very nice. So you can get around this, but you have to kind of do it. The game wants to entice you with this. A very early mission exposes you to a helicopter. It's not a strong helicopter. It's just a little scout, but you can use that for the whole game if you want.
Yeah.
If you don't get it blown up.
You can summon in vehicle repair things. Took me forever to figure out what you had to do with those because it just comes in as a huge crate. What you have to do is just kind of bump it with your helicopter while you're flying it.
You drive the helicopter into the repair thing.
Yep. And then its maw on the front of it opens up and then it just kind of chomps down on it. Yeah.
Basically 4 acts, as we mentioned, as you hunt down the different suits of the deck. The chapter ends when you capture the ace, but you cannot do the ace mission without getting enough intel. And you get intel by taking out or verifying the other cards in the suit. That is the other kind of risk reward thing in this. If you kill them, it's a lot easier, but you get half the money.
Yeah.
If you extract them, you make your way in there, knock them out, and then load them up onto an exit chopper, you get a lot of money.
That often requires either carrying the VIP away from the battle zone or entirely clearing it out so that the extraction can take place.
Yeah, or at the very least, extract it, clear it out from explosives.
Yes.
Through that. Once you get it on the chopper, you're fine, kind of regardless, even if it gets blown up afterwards.
It's so funny. I get the full bounty, but it literally explodes while they're pulling away.
Yep, they did the interrogation really quick on the chopper.
Yes. So just the number cards, those can be found at random by just exploring the map. Like, if you get close to them, your handler, Fiona, will chime in and say, hey, there's a number card nearby. And each of them gives a little bit of intel on the ace.
You also get emails about these. So you can just stumble into them, but you'll get emails that say, hey, the 6 of clubs is southwest of the South Korean city.
Those are rewards for doing the faction missions, is what those are. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also, they exist beforehand. Yes. It's, again, a way to differentiate this between GTA. GTA would never do that. If there's a mob boss you're supposed to kill in GTA, they would never have them on the map until the game wants you to kill them.
What is this, some kind of simulation?
Yeah, it's got a lot of simulation to it, as opposed to. So in these, typically the number cards are nothing. We're not going to go into those in too much detail.
No.
Because they're just little combat arenas. Like I had fun doing these. I like the deck of 52 in this game. The feast cards are where there are actually set pieces.
Yes.
And these are things you have to get from the faction leaders.
Right. The face cards provide more intel, and it's the last mission for a faction in a given chapter. Those 4 factions in the game are each of a different nationality, and each of them kind of broadly gives like a different category of mission. Roughly, that's not strict or anything. So something that is fun. Like you don't realize when you're picking your character at the beginning of this game, which you're going to play as the entire time. It says what languages they speak. Each of them is fluent in a different foreign language. But what that means is like when you go into a mission giver's little room to get their little speech about what the mission is, oftentimes they will be talking before they address you in their own language, and that will be subtitled if your character understands it. So there's like just parts of the story that you're not getting if you are not playing as that character and going and doing that mission.
Yeah, none of it is necessary to understand what you're doing, but it's a cute little touch. It's a nice little detail.
It's dispositional, I guess.
Yeah. You have a reputation with each faction. This is called morale in this game. It's drained by a couple things, mostly by killing members of that faction and destroying their stuff.
It's a hostile gesture.
Yep, hostile gestures. Unlike the hostile jester, aka Nils. So if you gain a reputation by killing opposing faction soldiers, performing missions for them, or doing certain little special bits. Yeah. Each faction has a thing they like. The South Koreans like you destroying monuments to the great leader. The Chinese like you recovering cultural treasures, stealing them, basically. the game starts off very gentle and it's very easy to keep everyone happy. As you start progressing through the game, it starts making this more difficult.
Yes.
Factions will start working against each other and you start kind of balancing meters. This is something that I think the potential of this isn't totally reached.
Yeah.
Like, I like this. The way to get around this, because you can't ruin the game for yourself. You know, since you need to be able to do missions for those factions by doing their face card missions, you can always bribe the people to get your standing back with them. I would have liked this a lot more if there were more ways to hurt a faction without them knowing.
Yes.
The only way that I could really find to do that was distance. And once I kind of figured that out, it was cool to engage with it. Like, I have to kill a bunch of South Koreans in this. I like the South Koreans. I want to do missions for them again. So instead of taking this base out the way that I would normally, I'm going to do it with a sniper rifle because they won't see me who it is who's doing it. That works. You know, you can conceive of that and it works just fine, but it's not always the most fun or expedient way to deal with it. And you can also just tank the hit.
Yes.
And use money. Money is fun because it's useful. Like, you have things you want to do with money in this. It doesn't become literal post scarcity for a long time in this, but it's not something that you have to mind as much as maybe you could, I guess.
You do end up with like cool systems things, like when you have good reputation with a faction that another faction is sending you to go after. So like if they like you and the destination is not a restricted facility, like what could be really hard if they were going to target you immediately on site ends up actually being kind of easy for you to go and set stuff up.
Yeah,
I
literally go and set C4 on their stuff, and
I planted a lot of C4. Also, like there's some consonance with just, you know, the concept of the game with the way that this works. You're a mercenary. You have literally no allegiance to any force here. So it is pretty funny as you are balancing things out. Like, okay, I did a mission for the South Koreans that really pissed off the Chinese. To make the Chinese forces happy, I need to stick it to the South Koreans, just do a mission for them. So it's really funny, just like effectively going and getting paid to solve problems that you created elsewhere is kind of the feeling. Yeah.
In that the characters will say things like, you know, you pissed me off, but you're too useful.
Yeah.
To me. Like the game acknowledges this. It's not just, well, I guess you filled up my meter. They understand what you're doing here and they understand that you're working for everybody. The different factions have kind of different bonuses, basically, kind of vaguely in terms of territory and stuff. One of the things is the Russians, the mafia, who run the Merchants of Menace.
Yeah.
So having a high Russian mafia score will get you better prices on the black market. And this dovetails really well with their specific, unique way of getting their faction up, which is stealing vehicles for them. Favorite thing in the world, load up a vehicle full of allied troops. You live in Russia now.
Yep.
You just drop it off in their garage and they process them for something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing to them.
It's very funny.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you, Colonel. Really, really good. You can also take Russian vehicles and give them to the Russians, which they won't pay you for, but they do like it. I just like to think that you're returning their thing and you can get approval from just giving them back their own things.
It's like it's like returning Lime scooters.
I was thinking it was like a dog or a cat when it gives you a leaf.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, they're just like, you know, the thought counts. Like,
it does. Thank you. Yeah,
I own that leaf already. I could have got that leaf, but
it was on my property. I own this tree.
But thank you.
But you get chin scratches. Yeah.
I'd love to give my little mercenary chin scratches.
Yeah. Broadly, this is not worth worrying about. The bribes are like, I think the most that the bribes go is like $1 million in the final chapter. But like, I pretty much only ever had to do that with one faction in a given suit. You can juggle every one of them as long as you choose one that you're fine tanking for a bribe.
The paydays go up every chapter.
Yes.
So in the first chapter, you're maybe getting $12,000 for taking out a card. In the last chapter, if you capture them, you're getting $700,000. You're getting most of $1 million right there.
Yeah.
Once you get a threshold of intelligence to take out the ace, you can go and do that mission. It clears all the cards and missions. You're going to move to the next chapter, and you go to like an instance map to go do this with kind of a series of objectives. Usually it'll involve getting to the area, taking out some anti-air, taking out jammers along the way, things like that. Your tools, even though you're not on the main map and you can't like take your helicopter there because it's going to drop you off, your tools still exist here. So if you can airdrop a helicopter, or what I did, which was airdrop a Saab onto the area, you can still do that.
SAAB?
Yeah. I got so many Saabs.
Like a hatchback?
Yeah, whatever that little car is you get, the little civilian car that sucks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my most frequent airdrop thing.
Well, it's so cheap.
Yeah. It is like $4,000 and you get to drive this like beater car. And everyone's like, oh, that guy's just on Evil Island, on the island with our nukes. He's probably just going home.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Get rid of that car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We mentioned this before with the vehicle disguise thing when it's very similar to Hitman in that they're officers. They're kind of prime players who can see through your disguise through here. And once your cover is blown, your cover is blown until you can go out of sight and then get into a different vehicle. Yeah. Through here. This, you can't sneak into an entire place a lot of the time, but what I found that worked a lot of the time is staying off the main roads. That's just a Saab driving through the woods. None of my business. And that almost always worked.
Yeah. I don't know. It just real fun. All the different ways you can do it. Sorry, I just kind of defaulted to praising the game for the thing that is fun about it.
It's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real neat.
Yeah. You already mentioned kind of the side missions you can do. I eventually stopped doing those once I figured out it was get into this car that is marked and then get to this other place very quickly, like little races. Yeah. Generally, if you need to make money a couple $1,000s at a time, that is a way you can do it.
It's they drop off. Like it's kind of fun early on, and you need the money a little bit more early on. Yeah. You're doing it. It's worth noting that if you see a vehicle you like and it has a $sign on it, you can hijack the vehicle and then say no. Yeah. And still take the vehicle through this. Again, you get those collectibles and buyables at different kind of thresholds of doing these little missions. So, but it's also a modern military game, which means there are 17 different kinds of helicopters, most of which are just named after strings of letters and numbers. Fuck me if I can tell the difference between vehicles generally. Like I can a little bit, if they have a different gun, but there are a lot of different Jeeps you can get. For example, unlocking a new Jeep when I already have a Jeep is not that exciting to me. Like it might be a new disguise, but the civilian is a skeleton key.
Yes. So, is that all for the gameplay aside from stuff we're going to talk about in individual missions?
Stuff will come out. It's one of those things that'll be kind of a weird episode because like so much of my experience playing this game was developing systems that worked for this. Like really expressive play meant that the structure of getting a mission, the feeling of getting a mission was kind of scouting it out, poking at the edges and being like, what is the best way to do this? Yeah. And the progress of the game was showing me new ways to do things and giving me more tools as I went on. Yeah. So we'll talk about some of those thresholds, some of those plateaus. Yes. Yeah. Talking about aesthetics, this is a pretty impressive game, even for 2005, which was, late in the life cycle of the PlayStation 2. I mean, that was the year that the Xbox 360 came out. And though things are generally, Iraq War brown, if we're, going to give a name to that entire era of military games, the scale of what's happening is really impressive. You can see for a long way. And I remember, renting this and having my mind blown that it was like, I wonder if I can take that down. And then with enough, just with enough effort, I was able to just destroy a building. Like that is cool. It's super cool. Yeah. And the kind of visuals of when a war is going on, they do with the fog. There's a good amount of fog in this. Yeah. But it does a really good job of making it feel like an active war is happening where you're at. Yeah. It's a video game, so the scale is hundreds instead of, tens of thousands. Yeah. But you will crest a hill and have these emergent systems, have these South Koreans fighting the Chinese just over the hill in front of you, and it will look like a war. Yeah. It'll look like a battle that's going around, and you have to kind of make these choices in terms of going around or going through or whatever you want to do. Yeah. It looks good. in that respect. The color palette is very drab. You have to be okay with military.
Yeah.
There is not one warm color in the bunch, basically.
Mm-hmm. How drab is it? Olive drab.
It's very olive drab, and as somebody who is not driven by military aesthetics, like that is something I like this game in spite of.
Yes. Yeah. I found the music was fine. Rah military fare kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like the main theme a lot, like the pause theme and the theme that kind of plays when you get a card.
Yeah.
Through this quite a bit, but yeah, it's generally no great shakes. There's also not music a lot of times when you're driving. There's radio. There's kind of like NPR style radio, commenting on what you've done, which is kind of fun, but I do think it makes some of those drives a little boring.
Yeah. Put on a podcast.
Yeah.
This is a funny game, right? Like you gotta accept that this is kind of informed by global war of terror on terror politic kind of stuff, but like it is not jingoistic in any particular way that sticks out and like puts a stink on anything, I guess.
Yeah, right? There is a critique of other countries using a third country as a kind of playground.
Yeah.
Of destruction that's here if you want to find it. It's neither heavy-handed in that, but it is there, and it's a way that undercuts any kind of patriotism you're going to feel from this.
Right.
Not just also, least of which, because you're not playing an American during this. But like there is kind of there's probably a read on this. I'm not going to write it, but there's a read on this that is kind of a critique of Western adventurism in Eastern countries that makes it not feel gross. And the fact that it is already arcadey, you're bumping helicopters into repair nodes. Your character is getting blown up and surviving. A lot of the time can make this pretty fun. Yeah. This is on top of the actual just writing, which is pretty charming. It's worth noting, written by Matt Colville of MCDM and Draw Steel. A YouTuber who I really like. Okay. I reached out on Blue Sky to Matt to be like, hey, have you ever talked about your experience writing this game? But it does not look like I did not get a response. Senpai did not notice me. So I did not find out about that, but I was curious.
Yeah. Each of the faction leaders is really well developed on this, I think. And like the particular ways in which they're shitty, I think are distinct in entertaining ways. And like the dialogue and quips the character we're going to talk about, because both of us played the same character, but also just Fiona, your handler, is just written super charmingly as well.
I like Fiona a lot. Australian and gleefully amoral.
Yeah.
You have to take out a guy. You do an airstrike on him instead of, going up and handcuffing him. And she's like, that's going to cut into the budget. You're not going to get as much money. That's not the accent. I can't do accents, but it's very cute.
Let's talk about the characters. You pick out of 3 at the beginning. You've got Chris Jacobs and Jennifer Mui, who are pretty standard. You don't want to pick them. It doesn't matter if you like the stats that they have, which are not communicated to you, because the
stats they're in the description. You can just see what they're good at. But this is also something that's broken, which I only found out about through speedrunning. Okay. So what's supposed to happen is that Chris Jacobs, who is the closest thing to a good guy, in this, if you play through as Chris, that's who I played through as a kid. He has a morality to him. So if the amoralness of it is a stink to you, you can play through as him. He is a little bit tougher. Jennifer, the lady who is kind of an aloof spy lady, is supposed to be a little stealthy. She's supposed to be a little slower. And Matthias Nilsson, the third guy who we played as, is supposed to be faster. There is a glitch where Jennifer is as fast. So Matthias has the speed, but so does Jennifer. Through this, making Jennifer the speedrun character for this game. But they have, generally they'll make jokes and everything like that. Chris being kind of the Mario of the group. And again, as we mentioned, they all know different languages. So you get to, choose who you understand. Matthias Nilsson, though, is kind of the flagship character, so much that he's on the cover of the second one.
Kind of the main character is, I think, Swedish, Norwegian, something like that. And based on a real person, The techno Viking, kind of an early internet meme guy from a video shot at the 2000 Berlin Fuck Parade.
I like the idea of the 2000 Berlin Fuck Parade.
Yeah,
quite a bit. An electronic music festival.
Yeah. Matthias is voiced by Peter Stormare, who brings just the most baffling energy to it, as Peter Stormare does.
It's really high quality, rare Stormare. Like if you're a Stormariac, like I am, it's nice.
Yeah.
Having his kind of disaffected, but also wry. It's really good. Really weird energy.
He just everything like is kind of a mutter.
Yeah.
Like not like shouting or like woohoo, but just will say some psychotic shit almost under his breath.
He kind of delivers everything that way.
Yeah.
As well, which is really fun.
Yeah.
The other characters have a mild amount of fun to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why this guy became the mascot for this dead franchise.
Mm-hmm. So getting into development details, not a lot about this. Details that I got were from an interview in Old School Gamer magazine done by Patrick Hickey Jr. And there is a history of the series on YouTube by Gamer Guys Reviews, just to give credit on that there. Pandemic is a studio. We haven't talked about them because they make two kinds of games that we don't talk about an awful lot. They make strategy and they make open world.
Yeah. One of those developers that is well loved, but gone.
Yes.
Like as a thing. People are very nostalgic for Pandemic Studios.
Mm-hmm.
They're founded in 1998 in Westwood, Los Angeles by Activision veterans, Andrew Goldman and Josh Resnick. Mm-hmm. During their early years, they primarily did strategy games, as we mentioned. Their first action game was Star Wars: The Clone Wars game, which has a little bit of a precursor to this. And so does Star Wars Battlefront, another thing that they worked on.
Yeah.
It's worth noting, too, when I talk about how new this stuff was to me, like, I'm aware of Just Cause. I don't want anyone to be like, you don't know what Just Cause is.
No,
this predates Just Cause.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Like this was an early version of this.
Yeah. I was going to mention that when we were talking about like, oh, we got a sequel and then the studio went away, and just say that like people call Just Cause the heir apparent, I guess.
Yeah. The sequel to this game even did a lot of stuff that Just Cause did, hijacking helicopters with a grappling hook, shit like that.
Yeah. They began developing this actually when Electronic Arts reached out to have them develop a modern 3D update of the Desert Strike series, your dad's favorite Genesis games.
Yep, overhead shmups. Some developers of Pandemic had recently helped 3DO create PS2 rendering software for the Army Men RTS. Mm-hmm. So they use that engine for this. In many ways, this is just an Army Men RTS mod. Through that. And the helicopter combat was built out and the scope expanded, but Pandemic saw fit to cut off that relationship with EA and took this new concept of making the helicopter only part of it, took this to LucasArts.
Yes. Yeah. And it paid off. Like this sold 1.5 million copies and it reviewed extremely well.
Yeah.
People comparing it very favorably to the 3D Grand Theft Autos, right?
Which is probably why it landed on my radar. Like at this time, I was not particularly plugged in to, I was not games literate, did not know a lot about what was going on with games. I probably just saw a review of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. The marketing for it was also like really to the point. Like there were television spots that were like, hey, you can blow up whatever you want. Just bomb shit again and again and again. And that's what sold me. Yeah.
Yeah. The game was banned in South Korea because it depicted a war that is technically still going on.
Yep.
And this ban was listed in 2007. There's a sequel to this, Mercenaries 2 World in Flames, which has a famous song. That was released in 2008, primarily for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. There is a PS2 version, so Tony Hawk Hours there. And in that one, you are in Venezuela. You're hired by a CEO to kind of destabilize the region in this power vacuum left in the wake of an internal coup.
Yes. So this premise and the fact that it took place in Venezuela actually led to all military video games being banned in Venezuela.
It's a lot of video games.
Since Hugo Chavez, the president at the time, mistakenly believed that the game was specifically about assassinating him.
Yeah.
Everything in it is fictionalized except for the country. He did have a point though, talking about pandemic, like working with the U.S. Army to make Full Spectrum Warrior.
Yeah.
Saying like, yeah, no, like the studio, like they make propaganda games for the United States military. Listen to us talk.
Trust it?
Yeah, how can we trust it? Right.
Yeah.
So, not going to bat for Hugo Chavez, bad guy, comma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the American military enlists video game developers to do things that are like propaganda.
Yes. Yeah.
Mercenaries 2 was rushed out the door because EA's strategy of saturating the release calendar that super paid off for them. They're so good. It eventually got patched. Mercenaries 2 is still fun. It's still worth playing, especially now. When it came out, I remember it being real jank. I played the PS2 version of it and remember it being kind of problematic. If you like Mercenaries, it is more Mercenaries.
Yeah. I wish there was a better way to play the 360 PS3 version of it. I guess
I haven't tried on the RC3P or whatever, but
it always feels like such a gamble.
It is.
So after Mercenaries, Pandemic kind of continued to split time between open world games and strategy games. They worked on a few Lord of the Rings RTSs. They're apparently pretty well regarded. And then EA ultimately closed them down. They acquired them and then closed them down a couple of years later after they had shipped their final game, The Saboteur, which is an open world game about playing as like the resistance in Vichy, France, which apparently is really good.
I've heard
that's
that
a
too.
good game. Yeah.
That's going to be a vanity pick for me maybe around this time next year. Like I need a pandemic refractory period, but just as an excuse to play it. I've heard really good things about that. And the game has a good reputation for being kind of swept under the rug unjustly.
Yeah.
There's an online multiplayer spinoff called Mercs Inc. that was announced. This never saw the light of day. And Pandemic was working on Mercenaries 3, No Limits, when they were shut down. Turns out some limits.
Some limits. Yeah, Turns out whatever EA says you're allowed to do, actually.
That's our limit, is whatever Money Man says we can do. Bleak. Yeah. That's about it for generalities. One thing I want to say real quick, and because I don't know where else to put this, and this could be a Bluntstone thing to say. It could be for my lack of experience or whatever. I really like how helicopters control in this.
Pretty good helicopters control, actually.
The cars are a little bouncy and a little top heavy. Like when we played GTA 4, I felt like, that's my favorite, or GTA 5 rather. Yeah. That's my favorite car in an open world game that we played. This is my favorite helicopter, and it's 3 generations beforehand.
Right.
I don't think that there are helicopters that control as well as this. They feel really good. They're easy to aim. It's really intuitive how they work. I love helicopters in this.
You're not doing rudder turning with it. You're just kind of pointing in the direction you want to go and then pressing up, and then you're going to go. Yeah. Right. So you're only controlling like ascension and, descent. However, so you're not just like trying to like angle in a direction and then tilting forward and making sure that it's not realistic, I guess. No, not even a little bit, but it's a blast. Yeah. Like it's very, very fun. The very high end ones that give you, like you can eventually hijack gunships from this. Those are so empowering. One of the most empowering power-ups, like, because it's kind of how they function a lot of the time in this, that you can have in a game. Yeah. Like if, when people are like, oh, what power up from video games would you like in real life? Like obviously rat tail, so I can turn into a super podcaster. Right. But the gunship from this that controls exactly like this, because a real gunship I wouldn't know what to do with. Yeah. This version of the gunship would be pretty sick. Yeah. Like a helicopter you can control with an Xbox 360 controller. Yes. Yeah. Might be the way to go. Also a helicopter that is not almost guaranteed to kill you. Yeah. Which I understand and respect. People say helicopters are dangerous. I still think I could do it. I could change them. Yeah. I could fix them. I could be trusted. No helicopter forged against me shall prosper. Exactly. Yeah. If you're hearing this, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate you. If you'd like to hear the whole thing, join us on Patreon.
Patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv.
Please do. You not only get the full version of this episode, but every previous premium Watch Out for Fireballs that we have done. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of them.
And Unfilmable, which is a good show.
It is. Yeah.
Bunch of shows. We think it's really good. And maybe the most important thing is if you like us, it allows us to keep doing this. Yeah. This is both of our jobs. It's one of Gwen's major sources of income. We have a producer, Gwen, who's wonderful. Would not have her without your support. If you want to keep that going, that's how you do it. So $5 a month, $1.25 a week. That is how you keep this spigot going.
Yes. If you have thoughts about Mercenaries, it is too late. However, if you have thoughts about September's games, the deadline is September the 15th. Those games are The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, the Outer Wilds DLC, Echoes of the Eye, and our premium episode for that month is Against the Storm.
Yep. Deadline is always the 15th.
Yes.
Next week, we're going to do our dispatch, where we'll announce what we're doing in October.
Or in November.
November. Wait. Yes, thank you. No, October.
October. Okay. I didn't know if we had announced that. Okay, there we go. Yes.
If not, it's October. And we'll be answering your questions. Here's something we don't talk about. At $5, you also get dispatch bonuses.
Yes.
If you like the dispatch episodes, we do roundups every quarter. Those are at $5 a month.
Yeah.
That's about it, I think.
Think so. Leave ratings or reviews and join us in thanking our producer, Gwen.
Big thanks to Gwen, and we'll see you next week.